Hey, we here in the place to be. Welcome to Pontiac WYAC. We here. I'm gonna let things bubble for a minute. Hit the share button. But tonight we're gonna talk about, and whoever can come in can come. I will be giving out the phone number for those that may want to call. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button at this moment. So welcome everybody. We're gonna let the timer go for a little bit right quick, and we're gonna get back to it, doing a little bit of sharing, because that is caring. We're going to be on just a second here. We're getting everything situated. Just doing a little bit of sharing right now. So if you want to go ahead and share the podcast, please do. We're going to be talking about the nonprofit, what they do, don't do, understanding, misunderstanding. Whoever want to chime in tonight can, because I'm going to give the phone number. We're going to have some real dialect and talk. Hopefully somebody or two can pop in. I sent a link to a couple of folks, but we're going to talk about nonprofit and, from my understanding, what it is, what it's doing, how many there is in the community that we are in and surrounding communities, and if things are really being solved with the amount of the amount of nonprofits that are around. So right now I'm just doing a little bit of sharing. If you can share, also please do that. And yes, let's get into it. We about to get into it. It's a couple of housekeeping things that I do want to go ahead and deal with. So I'm going to get that out of the way fairly fast right now. So today was not, today wasn't the greatest day, but, right now I want to go ahead and give a moment of silence to the man that just fell earlier today. Charlie Kirk was shot, and I don't care. A lot of times, you guys, people have a big problem with people that speak their mind. I'm happen to be one of them. I don't care if you're on the far right. I don't care if you're on the far left. A lot of people, if you don't agree with them, they seem to hate you or don't like you. Or, and that's fine. That's fine. But no matter what nobody is talking or speaking, it doesn't deserve the right to get shot down in cold blood in front of hundreds of people and thousands of people online. Millions of people have seen this man die today. I haven't brought myself to be able to even see or look at the film or of it at all. I know who the guy was. I knew what he stood for. I knew what his talking points was. And regardless if I believed in what he talked about, did or didn't, I seen people celebrating that this man has gotten shot. I seen it on TikTok, Instagram, some on YouTube shorts, reels, Facebook. I done seen some stupid comments with people saying stupid shit on Facebook, about the guy. No matter what it is, nobody deserves to be shot down like that. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, and it shows how dumb and you are. I mean, honestly, as a person, it just shows how dumb you are. So I really think, at the end of the day, this man did not deserve to die like he did, regardless if we believe in what he was talking or not. So a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and his family. Hopefully, they can, you never recover from a spouse or, passing in the way that they did. So just wanted to get that out the way. And now we are on to the show. Today we want to talk about nonprofits, and I see, let me put her onto the screen here. Let me see here if I can, let me see here. There we go. Hey, we got one of the premier, we got one of the premier people from the city of Pontiac that's doing great, big,
How you
huge
doing?
things. I'm doing good. How are you? I thank you. I'm thankful that you
Thank you.
popped on. So,
Yeah,
I'm
I just got an email. I'm like, okay.
yeah. But I'm glad that you responded because I know I didn't even call you or ask you formally to come on. But I'm glad that you did. Tonight I wanted to kind of I wanted to talk about nonprofits. I wanted to talk about what they do. A lot of times, just the layman, just the regular person around town, they see and they know and hear about a lot of nonprofits, but they really don't know what they do, how they get their money, how the money's supposed to be subjugated to be used. A lot of people do feel like it could be scammy. Some people, because they see maybe money not being used in the right places. You know what I'm saying? We've seen where some nonprofits are blocking other nonprofits from funding and situations and donorships and just behind the scene cutthroat type of it seemed like a dirty business at the end of the day it could be. And so I wanted to talk about that and maybe get some insight of some knowledgeable people like yourself, because nonprofit is a good world, but I would like to know more about it, and I think people would like to have this conversation. So thank you for joining, Isha Branner. You
You
are in
are
the
welcome.
nonprofit. You are in the nonprofit world. Am I correct?
I'm in both,
You in?
but my main focus is nonprofit. That is where my passion lies for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
So I can definitely speak a little bit on that.
Well, yeah. Let me ask you. I mean, and anybody that would like, I'm gonna open up the phone line too because just in case people may want to
Uh-huh.
call and ask you a question. So the number is 248-905-1128. Anybody would like to call, please share because we're gonna be talking for a while or as long as she can come on and stay on. I'll appreciate it. I know she's busy moving around, but with the nonprofit world, where some people feel like it is, you know, um, it could be kind of. I'm just gonna cut straight into the fact. Some people feel like it
Yeah,
could be.
get straight to it.
Some people feel like the shit is scammy as hell, like it's slimy, like it's like backdoory a little bit. Maybe some money ain't being proportionally used where it's supposed to be used, or it's a money grab. It's not really solving problems, community problems, or why is that stigma holding on? Is that based in a big truth, or is it just what's going on?
So so I definitely agree to a certain extent. Now there are some organizations out here that are doing some great work. And a lot of them, like myself, are doing the work with very little funding support.
Hmm.
And also there are some organizations that are getting funds and not, pouring them into necessarily the community. I would say it's more an admin cost, which is a lot. That's where you see a lot of these CEOs and
Hmm.
program managers making decent money.
Hmm.
Um, which is crazy. To me, I don't feel like I think more of the money should be going towards the problem, trying to come up with a solution within the community. A lot of people around here, and I can just speak off of the few years that I have been running a nonprofit. They think there is a lot of money that comes into it.
Hmm.
Um, don't get me wrong, you can make decent money, but you got to show results. And for me, starting a nonprofit, I had to pour a lot of my own funding, a lot of my own resources. And to this day, my own organization still owes me tons of money because
Hmm.
as a leader, I look at it as I'm gonna eat last. I got buildings, I have staff, I got to make sure that we keep lights and gas on. So it's a lot that goes into it, but it is going to depend on what the organization, I mean, what their focus is, who is their leader. Mine's come from straight up hustle. So it may look like a lot of organizations just getting, being rich off
Hmm.
of, which I can't really speak on what they do. I'm not
Hmm.
focused on it. Mine is like, how can I help my families? I don't want to just say, oh, they just bringing in a whole lot of money and they put it toward their cars. You just never know.
Well,
I
when it
can't I can't really speak on that side.
okay, when it comes to say you get funding some type of grant, right? And
Hmm.
it's stipulations. I'm pretty sure with every type of bit of money that you get, right? So it has to be
Yeah.
how's is it? I know each one is different. So as far as grants you get, so It'll say what X amount is due for admin.
Yeah, there is a lot of grants are very strict. It can come, but you can't move the money around, right?
Okay.
So when I first started getting funding, I was kind of afraid because I'm like, okay, I got to make sure it goes, just for this area. A lot of our funding comes from programs or getting items at the store, so they don't really fund a lot of admin stuff. You got to be very careful when it comes to what you're asking, when it comes to like your staff and stuff like that. But there are some grants that you can get that you can request to move the money around. So I'll give you an example. My very first big grant I got from United Way, it was for capacity building. So they may say, okay, they give you, I'll say $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
40 of that may go towards training. 1500 may go towards software. Well, we might have software already, so we might say, hey, that 1500, can we put that towards materials or put that towards for the rest of the program? And they will allow that. So it just depends on where the funding is coming from, what their mission is with it. So it's not, like I said, a lot of people need to educate themselves, because I hear a lot of that. Oh, all y'all do, y'all get money, don't pour into the community. Well, who doing the research on that? You
Mm-hmm.
show me where you see that being done at. You seeing results. And then you got some organization who are applying for grants
Mm-hmm.
and don't know how to spend the money. So it's a whole different kind of ball game. Nonprofit is not for the weak.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you that you don't make a whole lot of money. When you start a nonprofit, the goal is to solve a problem. It's not for
Mm-hmm.
you to get rich. It's not for you to um really turn it into a life career. It's to solve a problem and go on to the next problem. And that's where I think I had seen you had shared something like that. And I agree to a certain extent. A lot of them
Mm-hmm.
is lifers. They have made it into a career, which in some cases, depending on what your focus is, you can do that. But for me, I want to go out of business. Ain't nobody trying to spend the next 30 years connecting people to resources. How can we get that solution and move on to the next problem?
Have you seen where and I know you're moving the needle. I mean, you're really helping the people. You're you're very not just vocal. You're very vocal,
Mhm.
visible, and viable. The three V's. Like you're really moving. And like you say, you just not nonprofit is just a. So you're not only just a nonprofit, but you're also a private business too, right? Or
So the nonprofit that is is set up, the 501(c)(3). Of
okay,
course, we operate off of grants, sponsorships, and stuff like that. My women in business is a for profit, so that's the second side. But
okay,
the way I move in my nonprofit, it is a business.
got you.
It's, I can literally, if I'm sitting around trying to just baby the situation, like for me, my goal is to help families and create some type of pathway for them to be able to follow that down the line. So I have to run it like it's a business. We got to bring money in, I got to pay people, we
Mm-hmm.
need, so, we have a store, we need supplies. So it's not just oh, we're going to come get these donations and we don't know what our goal is. No, no, I know I run it like it's a actual business.
Have you seen like and that's a good thing because you got that mindset. What have you seen where because where you are is outstanding. I mean,
Thank you.
I've seen like I have been able to see just from the outside looking in, just the bam bam boom how you've done this and how you grown and how you are helping tons of folks, and you really got ideas. You got innovative ideas. I
Mm.
like with the bus and all, like everything that you're doing. You're moving downtown Pontiac. That wonderful, wonderful. You're making great moves. Have you felt like because have there been like gatekeeping as far as no, for real? That's because I
Come
want to
on
get
now.
down to the. I want to get down to the nitty gritty because sometimes I feel
Maybe
like
I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have joined this with my shirt on,
right,
because
but
I'm on it. I'm like, and I'm not. It's not even so.
like people blocking you because it's like, never mind. Go ahead, listen. Go ahead, I'm
I'm I'm
listening.
I'm gonna say it
Yeah,
respectfully. I gotta get down. I gotta get
and I'm
real.
not trying to cause no, but I'm just trying to talk
Listen.
about it because people want to know. People want to talk about this.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna be respectful when I say it. And when I come on here, I try to be honest and just be who I am, because
Right.
that is what has helped me get to where I am today. And I'm gonna say it respectfully. I don't care who it offends. You have gatekeepers, but me is unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to close doors, stop funding it. It's all, and I know who a lot of these people are, but to me, I look at it as a opportunity to going around. There's always somebody higher that's
Mm-hmm.
able to um give me the resource. I don't deal with these at the bottom level, insecure, intimidated people, when my focus is helping my people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I offer within my organization is something that I needed. So this is very personal to me. And when it's personal and it's your passion, you can't stop what is for you.
Mm-hmm.
That is just
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't have any issues navigating through. Hold on one second.
Sure.
I don't. Hold on. Now my babies are coming in.
Okay.
Hey girls, go get this to her and tell her to add the other. Put all your stuff down and tell her to. I'll give her the rest tomorrow. Sorry about that. I was
No
getting
problem.
my kids. I thought they was gonna stay in the building here. Um, here. And tell her I'll give her the rest. Tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. I don't look at, if you want something so bad, you don't even focus on stuff like that. Like
Right.
in this small community where a lot of people know each other, a lot of people try not to get you at the tables. But if you allow a person to stop you from growing, then shame on you.
Well, I really like what you're doing. I really like what you're doing because you're teaching people how to. Well, also you got the for profit part where you got the women in business and you got it's it's it's
That's
creating
a
or it's
whole,
honing is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
honestly, I said that's a whole nother topic, because you
It
got,
is.
I just made a post about that the other day, about how there's so many dope women in our area that just don't want to work together. But that's, you can bring me on for something else. We can talk about that, because I can talk about that all day.
We
But
got a we
the
got a
nonprofit
comment.
space, I mean,
We have a comment from a guy named Kenneth on. I think this is on YouTube. When you have
uh-huh,
over 50% of the donations being paid out for salaries, most of the money isn't going to the cause. Um,
absolutely.
yeah. Let me see what he said.
That's
Go ahead. I'm listening.
no, that's I agree. And that's when you look at. I mean, you got some on the ground organization that does it as well, because there's ways to bring money in. But like I said, I am not that organization that is paying myself 80% of what I'm bringing in,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a struggle trying to just make sure you can pay your staff. Like I went from a 2,200 square feet to over 5,000 square feet building that got to be paid for.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, like I said, it's still a hustle. A lot of stuff that I still have to do. And you talking about a CEO who, if I gotta paint, I'm painting. If I gotta move stuff, I don't mind getting my hands dirty, because for right now, we don't have money like that to just be bringing in contractors. And actually, I kind of enjoy it. It
You
makes
be
me
in
feel
there.
like I'm
You be in
really,
there doing it. Yeah, you be in there getting your hands dirty.
yeah. I'm very. You got to maintain an organization. You have to be creative, passionate, and not afraid to kind of just move around, because the different funding, the people that want to shut the door, let them say. So for me, if you see how I promote, I'm just trying to bring more people in a creative way to the help that I know that they need, and it works out for me.
Do
I can't speak for everyone else.
right. Well, do right. You can't. You can't. But you being in that world, is you behind the curtain. Okay, so, you know what I mean. Like I'm in the
Mhm.
video world, and I'm behind that curtain. I kind of know what's going on with that. You
Yeah,
behind the curtain of the nonprofit, and you know the ins and outs, and you moving in it now. Um, but it's do we see a lot because we have a lot of nonprofits in our community. You know what I mean, especially in the inner city community. But do you see a lot of nonprofits just they not really worried about solving the problem. It's really about a quota. It's really just about
Absolutely.
getting that fund. So how do we get them the hell out of here? I mean, I'm not trying to say report them and send them to jail or nothing like that. But how the hell? I mean, but what I'm saying is, how do we get this shit to stop? Because ultimately, you're not really helping people. You just really making it look like you helping people. It's and then we got pastors in bed with a lot of people that's in these that run organizations, and they run into 1-2. So it's like, somebody has to speak on this because it's been in our community forever. And I was kind of reluctant of having a conversation like this or talking about it, but I know it's just been on the radar, and these conversations need to be brought up.
Honestly, I feel like so like I said earlier, I've been doing this work for about 6 years, and there are some that I think like it's time for them to wrap it up, right? But
Mm.
you will spend a lot of unnecessary time trying to fix that when you got so many people around that thinks it's okay.
See what I'm saying though. What I'm like, Isha. What I'm saying is, when you got that portion of people, right? What it
Mhm.
does is it block people like you. I mean, you're still going to get yours and be able to help people, but it's making it harder because I know there's a pool of so much funds for a certain area or whatever the case may be, and everybody's kind of going after the same dollars in a way. Doesn't that really impede on your progress because these people or these wrong organizations are in the way? I know it doesn't really
To
stop like,
us,
yeah.
so to your point, to a certain extent, it can kind of prolong. Um, Maybe I ain't gonna say necessarily the process. Um, But again, depending on that individual, you need to really focus on just getting in tables that make a difference. For me, what has helped for me is you seeing the motion, people seeing that it's not going to stop. We're going to constantly keep elevating, and that allows people to speak for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it organically helps that way. Like I've had a situation where I know openly that someone tried to stop me from a partnership or some funding,
Wow.
but because, and I kid you not, and it's crazy because I don't really speak a lot on it because I know God, he takes care of me. I'm not afraid to
We have a
you
phone call.
know
We have a
just
phone
continue
call.
doing the work.
We have a phone call.
So
Go ahead.
okay. Huh.
Hold on 1 second. We have a phone call. I'm trying to get them on, but go ahead. I'm listening.
What I was saying, so I've had that happen, but then you'll have someone speaking up for you, or it'll be a situation where in order for them to get funding,
One
I'm
second.
literally the only person that
One
they gotta bring to the table.
1 second. Isha, caller, are you online?
Uh-huh.
Caller, caller,
Which one?
caller online. Are we can you hear us? All
I
right.
can hear, but I'm not sure if it's me.
Is this Miss Brenda Carter?
It is.
Hey, how you doing, Rap? Thank you for giving a
I'm
call.
good. Well,
Happy
I just
birthday,
got out of a meeting.
she jumped
Yeah, I
on. It's
just
her
got out.
birthday today.
Yeah, we have Isha Briner
It
online.
is.
Yes. So happy
Well,
birthday.
hello,
Happy
Aisha.
birthday.
Yeah, I just got out of a meeting. I'm so sorry that it's 8 o'clock, and that's how my days run up here in Lansing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving us a call and blessing us with your with your insight. Thank you for calling in again. And I know you reached out and you wanted to say something about nonprofit, how you probably help or have helped organizations in the area, and how your work with it.
Well, I've been in the House of Representatives. This is my 7th year, and I've watched the nonprofits in the Pontiac area do incredible work. I can go down the list and tell you all the people, starting with e-community services, which is right on the line.
Yeah.
But see, right
Thank
now,
you.
we need to make sure that we take care of our nonprofits, because of the cuts that's coming in Washington and the proposed cuts that's coming in Lansing. It's going to hurt the very services that support our communities.
Yes,
I agree.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Rep Carter, how do you, when you when you pick organizations to help, like E-Community and Easter Brand, how do you go about, vetting? I mean, I know you do a lot of research before you help. You reach out, or they reach out to you, and you really decide to help them. How do you go about that process?
Well, one of the benefits of living in Pontiac, okay, I live in Pontiac, I don't visit Pontiac, okay, is that I watch these organizations and their functions. When you sit back and you can give things to the community like housing assistance or eviction assistance or diapers or food insecurity, then you absolutely know what these organizations are doing. I can tell you about what's happening with Denise Harris. I can tell you what's happening with Tamika Ramsey. I can tell you what's happening with Dave and Steve Coleman because I've watched these organizations over the years. And these are the organizations that I know that's providing a vital service to our communities, and they need to be supported.
And we thank you so much for taking time and taking your energies to Lansing and helping these organizations, because the ones that you just mentioned are doing a great and outstanding job, and you've been doing a great and outstanding job with helping these people. Like I told you when I saw you at M1 a couple of weeks ago, that I believe that you're a fighter, and you're a fighter on the behalf of the people of Pontiac, and you've been doing an outstanding job. And I'm just so happy that you called in just to let us know these types of things. Okay, let me ask you another question, Rep Carter. How do we decipher, once we find a bad apple or two, because there are some.
Absolutely.
So how do we wean and get those apples out that bunch, because it could spoil the whole bunch in a way, especially in a city like Pontiac. It's not too huge, and that reputation can be, once you get a great big organization that's, probably begin funding, but they how do we decipher? How do you go about doing that?
And see, Asante, I'm so glad you asked me that, because all you have to do is look at their track record.
Okay.
If you can't, and this is my standard, if you got people running for various offices or organizations that's asking for funding, just ask one simple question. What have they done for our communities? And if you got the deer looking at the headlights, like, I don't even know who they are, that should tell you everything you need to know. I can sit back here, and we probably don't have enough time for me to list all the great things of the organizations that I know that are doing things in Pontiac. But I can also tell you there's a lot of folks out there that just show up. Okay, and we just have to discern which one is actually looking out for us, looking out for our seniors, looking out for our babies. The ones that's willing to do the work without notoriety, without getting a pat on the back. And that's the ones you go after, you support by any means necessary.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got you loud and clear. And yes, we're just so happy, and I'm happy to know who you are, and I'm glad that we have a fighter on our behalf. And I mean, Rep Carter, you're tough. You know what I mean? I mean, tough in a good way. You so I really appreciate you and what you've done and what you continue to do for this area. And thank you for calling in. And you got to give me a promise that you're gonna probably come on the show one day. Maybe as an exclusive. I got you on the spot.
Well, two of the things, if you don't mind, let me just call out a couple things that I got going on right now.
Go ahead.
Because I got that pre-apprenticeship program going in where people who want to learn to get into an apprenticeship, to get a good paying job. This program actually pays a stipend every single week for 9 weeks to prepare people for the pre-apprenticeship. We have people like Jermaine Branner. We got people like Carlton Jones, Randy Carter, and Ricky Sherrill, who is leading the charge on this to give this opportunity to our communities. And most importantly, the biggie that I want to talk about is what's going to happen November 10th, because over at the Bowen Center from 5 to 7, I'm having all the people that makes a difference in what's going to happen with this HR 1 or the One Big Beautiful Bill. They're going to be over there and they're going to be able to ask the questions. I'm talking about MDHHS. I'm talking about MISTA. I'm talking about HUD. I'm talking about Haley Stevens. I'm talking about all kinds of organizations coming over there once again to answer the questions to our constituents so we don't get blindsided when this law is finally implemented. It's about being proactive instead of reactive. And I'm going to equip our community with all the tools they need so the phrase I use is they will be at the table. They will not be on the menu.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, Miss Rep Carter. Rep Carter, and listen. We're gonna continue to do this work, and I thank you for popping in and joining, and giving us this information that you just did. And again, I would like to get with you soon, and we can probably get more information out on a regular basis. As much as you need it. If you need me, just let me know. You know it.
What Asante, like I said, you in that list of people I call young people who are making a difference in our community, that's opening the doors for our young people and making things better for our people. So I got you 100%.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye now, everyone.
Bye-bye. So right there, we just had Rep Carter. She's an awesome, outstanding lady. I don't know if Ms. Brand, are you still?
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. I know that was an impromptu, but that was a great thing. I'm glad that she popped in. I know she wanted to for a moment, and because I know she has helped a lot of organizations in this area, and outside of this, outside of this area. So she's done a lot of work, and I'm glad that you two have had a partnership where she has sought in you someone to go ahead and invest in or help invest in.
Well, we haven't not just yet. I mean,
not yet. Okay.
I'm still working on that, but awesome lady, definitely a fighter, but looking to get more support as we continue growing and doing what we got to do. So I just want to throw that out.
Okay, great. I got you. So we had another comment from YouTube. Kenneth, he said, I disagree with the rep on the phone. He just so, hey, it's real in the field. This is what he said. I disagree with the rep on the phone. A bad nonprofit can support causes, but in a very minimum way to get the credit. But in reality, most of the donations go to the admin costs. So let me ask you this. Is there just money in the problem, or is the solution? You know what I mean? Do people really that get this money really want to get this dang on problem solved? Like let's say drug abuse or prevention or something like that, right? And people want to get donate or they get funding for that. I feel honestly like there's money in not having. I'm not looking at it half empty here, but I'm just looking at the track record, because our communities are continuously being ridden with crime and drugs, right? So all this money being poured into these organizations, is it really stemming the violence? Is it really stemming the drug activity, or is it I mean, what is it really doing?
So let me say this. I mean, so our area is not necessarily in that.
I know that's not you.
In that focus, but however, I do know that there are some organizations that have resources that address those needs. The thing what I see is either the information is not getting to our community like it should. So, and I know a lot of organizations are working towards that, but you have a lot of people that are running these organizations that have great programs, got funding and all of that, but it's like we all are just trying to stay afloat, and sometimes we're not working together. And that's it.
What's the solution then? Is the solution is get the old, like you said, get the old guard out of here and get the people that really want to work and really want to get the problem solved? Because we've been having years after years of the same, like you say, of the same organizations or the same people, a lot of damn money floating through the air and through their hands, and really problems are getting worse. So I mean, it has to be either the people, it can't, that's running this shit. I mean, quite honestly, because what else could it be? I mean, are we going to continue to throw money at a problem, or are we going to change the guard or to change the people that's getting the money?
Yeah, it's that I mean, it's really that's a tough question, because at the end of the day, we put a lot of these, requirements on the nonprofits, but we also got to hold our families accountable as well.
Yeah.
I do think that, like I said, and just to echo what Brenda Carter said, Rep. Brenda Carter said, we there are some great organizations that got some great things going on, but if we are all working in silo, which is something that definitely needs to be studied, because a lot of us are not working together.
Well, we a
Um,
city like this, you can't afford to work in too much of a silo, and and and,
yeah,
and there's always going to be this. It's put it like this. It's a shame that the videographers get along better than the nonprofits. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, for real, the nonprofits are the one that's really getting the funding and the resources to get these things done. Like,
yeah,
and I can tell you, and I'm just saying videographers, but I'm saying we all more or less the videographers in the city of Pontiac. I know we all pretty cool and get along. Like, we ain't nobody trying to be the biggest. I'm bigger than you, dog, and you this. We ain't down talking to each other. But in the nonprofit world, it seems like it's a lot of backbiting, and I
yeah,
don't get it.
because a lot of them are fighting for.
The same pool of bread.
Yeah, and see, the thing of it is, it's a little different for me. Which of course we need funding. That
Yeah.
that's all day long. I'm not gonna for us to get to where I would like to take our organization. We need more funding and more support. But if I can speak on
Go ahead.
probably what some of the challenges are with other organizations, or why it looks like it's a bite, which inside looking out, it's not really like a bite. It's like everybody's trying to stay afloat. They have I'll take OSA for example. OSA is one of the biggest human action agencies around here. They have to maintain many programs, so
Mm-hmm.
their focus is making sure that they can keep those programs going. If they lose certain fundings, you got to lay off several people.
Right.
So unfortunately, that focus is more of like, let's make sure we can maintain what has been established, but you still got to bring the community in to make sure that these programs are being utilized. So when you got these other organizations that's all in the side, they're thinking about making sure that they stay afloat. They're not really coming in and supporting more of the work that OSA is doing, because we're all okay. We're looking at it on a different end where what about the community? I think of a lot of organizations come in and look more. We want to support the families and making sure that they're okay instead of always the funding, the funding, the funding. I think there will be a big difference for me as an organization, because my focus is more of like, this is my passion. I like, it's personal to me. I've experienced this. I'm looking more of how can I help my people, and then funding comes just off of just
Doing
showing
what you
results and being visible and being creative and sharing the story. You gotta have that. You gotta know how to still maintain what you're doing, but also sharing, so people that do have money can bring it in. And it ain't always funding. We get in kind donations. It can
right.
be people volunteering. Like I just posted, we got a award from, well, it's like a little recognition award from UWM. They do a lot. I'm very grateful for what they do, and every year they do a little bit more because they see consistency and the impact. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not always here go a big check. So we, of course, it would be great, but giving us your space, donating diapers to our store, I'm appreciative to that, where I can focus more on building relationships with the community.
Right.
And again, when you're focusing on that, people with funds want to pour more into it because it's more realistic.
Yeah.
They see the impact. You don't come and just say you got 1,000 different programs and they don't see nothing happening. And so you gotta be a little creative. And I don't think people are slowing down and really realizing like, what is the focus. We should be helping each other. It shouldn't be we got to try to maintain this and that. We shouldn't be struggling at
Right.
all. There should be more funding coming down to programs that are actually helping the community. But I'm gonna go back to what I said early before she got on the call.
Mm-hmm.
It is a system problem.
Mm-hmm.
We could sit here and try to wipe all these organizations out. We'll take all day doing that,
Right.
because if you got a great grant writer, they don't got time to be trying to figure out who lying or not.
Right.
They don't have, these donors are not following up to make sure the money is being spent properly in a lot of cases. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt and just focus on what your lane is. What are
So
you doing?
so with your organization and the help that you're giving people, you're trying to help them also like gain independence or gain self-sufficiency. Because
So
how
my focus, because I have, as everybody for the most part that who knows who I am, I grew up here.
yeah.
I raised my children here. My parents raised me and my siblings here. I struggled here. I went through high school here. And then I was able to get up and do something different through the struggles. And it taught me, it really helped. This community built character in me.
Mm-hmm.
So my main focus is to show them that if I can do it, so can you. It
Mm-hmm.
is not that hard. The main reason why I started is to bring the resources all together at once and help our family navigate through that. That has since been a struggle because people don't like to play fair.
Mm-hmm.
So now what I have done, because I ain't no quitter and I know that you cannot stop me from what I want to do, I've bossed up and got a bigger building. And so
Yeah.
I'll create my own step-by-step process because I was able to go to school here, raise my kids. I got a master's degree.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
all came from me getting food stamps, Medicaid. I utilized the resources
So
that was
you
available.
became self-sufficient. I mean, you got help with the help that you received because you received, like you say,
Absolutely.
help during the way, but you became self-sufficient. And I think that's the
Absolutely.
motto of I think that's the motto again of that's I think that's why your organization is a great one because you live the life of some dependency in a way to become independent and self-sufficient. Now you're helping people become
Absolutely.
self-sufficient.
Listen,
That's the motto, right?
I had a call in, and I hope she listened to the end. My store person, she called and told me she ain't feeling good, and I had to sit in the store and do store appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm super, super busy, and I'm like, I don't have time. But in that moment of me sitting there, I was able to connect with some parents.
Mm-hmm.
And one particular young lady, she came in there, she 31 years old. And I'm a talkative person. People may look at it as me being nosy or just asking a whole bunch of questions, but that's my way of getting ready to empower some person in that
Mm-hmm.
moment. This young lady, 31, 5 kids, um just moved out of a shelter. They finally got her a place. She was fleeing this domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to her, and she just abruptly just broke down, and she's like, I'm trying, blah 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 blah. And in that moment, I provided her straight up wraparound support. If you look at my post the other day, I asked somebody about jobs
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I know this process trying to send them to an organization, do their intake, send her over there, take all day. No, let me pour into my resources and my community.
All right.
Within 10 minutes of posting that, I kid you not, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Somebody inboxed me, and shout out to her. I hope that she comes across this video. She inboxed me, and this young lady got connected to her and is about to start working in a field that she absolutely wanted to work in. She had been trying to find a job. But I'm saying all that to say, I seen me in her
Mm-hmm.
struggling. I didn't have all those kids that young, but I was able to be like, girl, it looks dark right now, but baby, listen.
Yeah.
You just hold on. It's dark right this second, but if you just tap into people who care for you, because sometimes our families, we look at it like, oh, my mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my cousin, they ain't support me, so I don't got no family. No, no, no. You got to create your own support system. And opening up and sharing your struggles is literally what she did. She was vulnerable. I had just met her. She
Yeah.
just joined, and the girl came all the way from Detroit
Okay.
to go at the store. So that right there is why this organization was created. I don't got time to be trying to send people to 1,000 different organizations when sometimes just making a post.
Yeah.
They need help right now. It can be something so simple, but we have so many process and policies in place that by the time they really get to the referral, they done caught up 9 more problems.
Right. And
But
you, yeah,
nobody have time for that. Sometimes it just be a little bit of a push, and people actually want to do better.
yeah. And
They really do. It's just all that extra stuff. They like, oh, they don't want to do this. No, you're making it difficult.
right,
And it's difficult because of the funding you may be getting, the people that's on your team. Nobody got time for that. So I created something saying I'm gonna do what I want to do within reason
uh-huh.
to make sure families in this community get connected in a timely manner and get the help that they need, and not sending them 1,000 different places,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 different numbers
Mm-hmm.
to just help with a bed.
Right,
We can help you. That's no problem. I'm up here putting beds in people's trunks
right,
because I don't look at titles. I'm looking at, we got to get this work done.
right,
You don't know I'm a CEO when you going in there. They be like, oh, the lady like, and you're the who started this organ? I said me. She's like, and you're setting it to this? Absolutely. Somebody called in. You think I'm gonna shut it down?
right,
No, I'm gonna pull my sleeves up and we gonna let me get your items so I can check you out so I can finish setting up responding to these emails.
right.
So that's a message I want to give to people. Like, it is personal. We, if not me, then who? We don't got nobody sitting here and just pouring positivity always in our families because we so caught up on making sure our programs get funded, making sure we meeting our quota. And sometimes you missing the smallest thing, and that can change a person's life. And we see it at our building
Yeah,
daily. I mean, you look at it. I got so many stories. We getting responses. We on the news. This is
yeah.
all
I mean,
organic. I don't know hunt things
I,
down like that.
and I know you don't, and that's the like the terrific part of what you got going on is because I know it's like you build it and they will come. It's like you're in constant motion doing you're doing creative solutions, you're doing creative problem solving, and that's why you're relevant, and that's why you're moving ahead. Let me ask you a quick question, real quick. I know it's in the evening. You probably got some chilling
I'm
that
about
you
to
want to
toss
do.
these baby in the bed like
Right.
you
So
don't even.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question,
Uh-huh.
real quickly. If there's a nonprofit that's just starting and they having a terrible time getting funding, because I've seen this before, nonprofits just start and they ask for advice, but they don't. People that's in place to help them give advice really don't. You know what I mean? Or
Uh-huh.
don't lead them to the well. Basically, what would you say to nonprofits that's just starting out to be able to help secure some funding and advice that you would tell them? What would you do? Because it's tough.
I would definitely tell them first. I would ask them why do they want to start a nonprofit?
Okay.
To really get, I need to know their why, because if it ain't what it needs to be, meaning like you trying to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people want to start a nonprofit, and so I'm like, no, that needs to be a program. Because we got 1,000 different one of those. Like, what is your reason? So I would first ask that, and then I would tell them, do your research and build relationships within this community. Find out who's doing what. Try to connect with them, and these are all the steps that I took. And when those don't work, or when they
Mm-hmm.
do, you start branching off. First thing is you're gonna have to invest in your own self. When
Mm-hmm.
I got my first building, I didn't have no money. I
Right.
opened up my first building without a grant or anything. I just knew I wanted to do something. I wanted to solve that one little problem, and it worked out. So I really, when people coming in, somebody want to do nonprofits, I'm like, do your research.
Right.
Find out who's doing what. Find out if it's needed in this community. Talk to your people, because don't waste your time and if it's something that's not going to fit in this city, because you may not get funding. You might got 90 different organizations that are getting the same type of funding. Not saying that it's impossible for you to get funding, but you're gonna have to wait. You might
Mm-hmm.
have to you might have to pour your funding into your own, which is what I had to do, because people didn't want to take me serious.
Right.
Right. My success, like, and I told you this in my last meeting, is so loud to where you're going to invite me at the table, because I have a unique organization. I focus on certain population a lot of people don't mainly focus on. So that helped me out. But they got to educate themselves, because starting a nonprofit, you're not going to be pouring. They're not going to pour money into a fresh nonprofit. I don't understand why people are not getting that. They want to start, oh, y'all want to, I want to help. Yeah, start volunteering. Start investing in other people organizations. Learn a nonprofit, because then once you decide you want to start one, you won't be discouraged because you ain't going to get money first off. You're going to have to start fundraising. You're going to have to start educating yourself, building partnership, building relationships. That's how I get funded.
And more important, my last question would be was how do you continue to maintain a good name in the nonprofit space? Because it's very easy to slip up
Mhm.
and fuck up. So I mean,
So
just to keep it real.
let me tell you something. I had last year was probably, I would say, one of my worst years mentally. Not that I wasn't doing my part in my organization, but and I'm sure you seen I was losing families left and right within like a 3 month span. It was like unbelievable. Um, but at the end, I had a through that storm. After that storm, I had a event that it would be going on my 4th year. So I pushed through and I made that event happen. So being consistent, pushing through, being consistent. If you saying you're gonna offer something, offer it. Your people is always right. Carry, have a good attitude. I had to learn that people are coming to me, they're gonna have attitude, they're gonna have problems. My job is not to go and give them the attitude and have problems. I gotta put myself in their shoes. So just being consistent, being caring, anything that you're doing, do it in love, not sit here and making it about you. Like, it's so many different things that you have to do in my mind where I feel like give you a good name. It's how you carry yourself as a leader, what you represent. If you're saying that you're empowering, make sure when my families come in, they feel empowered. We're not looking down on them. So it's certain things that I try to push in my team to say, look, this is how we have to be. Even when I don't want to do it, I still have to do it because they depending on that. If you say you're gonna offer something, make sure you offering it. If you say you not overly communicate so that they don't feel like, oh, this is a joke. Or she did had an event 2 years in a row and then she quit for two. They don't care that your family died. They don't care that you tired and burnt out.
Right.
They don't care about none of that. And so really showing up and saying whatever you're gonna do, you do it and do it with love. It never fails.
Mm.
And I'm saying that because I've done it. I'm angry and I'm bringing my problems to work. I'm like, no. And they sense stuff like that. They sense when you do not care. The moment that you show them that you don't care, you're done.
Yeah.
Because and you know what I'm talking about. These people in this
Yeah.
community, they talk about they won't tell you about the positive all the time. But as soon as you tell Moo Moo no,
Right.
they at your head.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I have tried to hold on to at least for the last year. And I'm just being honest because I was like, God, why do you got all this pressure on me? I gotta, all these people need me and this and then like and I heard a little voice, it's not you, then who? You better get mentally stronger.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you this. I mean,
Yep.
if and you know, we all gonna have those little pitfalls of those little hard runs. But you've been doing so good. I didn't even notice that you had a little hard run. That's how good you doing.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? But
listen.
hey,
Whoo,
that's a blessing
baby.
right there, right? That's a blessing that even when you hit a hard patch,
You didn't even know it.
you didn't even know it.
Man,
Didn't even know
and
it.
I'm
That's the
happy that you
blessings.
said that because
Yeah,
it lets me know that he carried me through it. I'm
carried you
telling you,
through.
it was tough. It was tough, but it needed to, God rest all my families who have passed away souls, but it pushed me. That's what I say. Like when you looking at whether it's somebody trying to stop your funding or whatever, that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give up.
Right.
I wanted to give up and I was able to push through it. So at this point, ain't can't nothing stop me. I was every month somebody had passed away and I'm up here getting hit after hit, people attacking me, funding ain't right, losing out on grants. People didn't even know it. And I got up and showed up every day.
Yeah. And you
Rather,
did. And you
yeah, I got
did.
showed up every day.
I would see like in the morning at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, you
Yep.
post a picture, you at the joint. I'm like, yo, she up there
Yep.
after.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me
Listen.
get my butt up. I'm up here being lazy. You're not. But that motivate.
Mhm.
Let me get my, let me get to
You
going. You know what I
got
mean?
to.
But honestly, what you were doing actually was not only just motivating the people that need help, but also people that are your contemporaries. Like, yo, let me step up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you're doing an outstanding job. You one of the good ones. You know what I mean? And I think one of the great things about you is that you're not just a nonprofit. You are in the space of building business
Hmm.
outside of
I,
that. You know what
appre-
I'm saying? That's
I
important.
appreciate that.
No, that's very important because I think it's one thing by just making your whole life around the nonprofit, but then it's another thing is like you know how to build a business too.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And not saying that
Absolutely.
nonprofit is a business, but it's a for profit. It's the hustle and the thing that go with that because that's a unique type of thing. Because with nonprofit, it is that you're waiting for a donation, it is that you're
Hmm.
waiting for a grant, you are waiting for a cosign. When you in for business for yourself, you got that hustle mentality. Like I got to
Yeah, I'm
get
going
out
to
and do
get
this.
it.
Yeah,
I'm I'm going to
you're
get
not
it.
waiting for
I don't
somebody to give
care.
you something, right?
Yeah, and that's what I see a lot
Mhm.
around here. It's like, okay, I got a nonprofit. I'm helping. Where the money at? No,
Right.
where the results at? Show us the results.
Yeah.
Show us the impact. Show us that what not, and this is another advice. What funders want to see is that you are able to do it with or without them. I don't chase funding. I don't chase partnerships. I don't chase nothing. Because
Great
at the
answer.
end of the day, even though I be one like, please give me a bag, please give me some money, but my heart won't allow me to do that because I know for a fact all money is not good money. If you're not chasing me down and I'm making an impact, then I don't want you to be a part. I don't want to be. I don't got time for that.
That's a good answer.
People, they need to know that you can hold tight with or without their funding. And I tell my funders, I'm gonna do it regardless, but
Yeah.
it'll be I can get it done quicker
Yeah.
if you give it to me, but it's gonna get done.
Yeah. That's what make you
Easy.
that's what make you special then because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean because you already have that mentality that it's going to happen if you do it or not. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it'll probably help you, even though you're giving me the money for the funding, it's also going to make you look good about it. I mean, it's just not just giving because X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do the right thing number one with it, but it's going to get done regardless. So and you're resourceful. So I like that
Yes.
about what you got going on, what you're doing. And I thank you for calling in, just being a part and,
Absolutely.
clearing up
Thank you
some
for
thoughts. Yeah.
inviting me. Yes, anytime, especially in that space. I don't mind
Yeah.
sharing. People, a lot of people still ask me, "How do you build?" I'm like, I'm still building. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just happening.
It's just because you're
I'm
putting one foot
learning
in
a
front of
lot
the
of
other.
stuff. I'm learning as I go. You fail your way to success, and
Ain't that something?
that's what I'm doing.
Ain't that
That's
something?
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and that's what's the great thing about you. I know you probably didn't have a lot of help that you thought you were going to get. And
Man, listen, hold on.
or I'm pretty sure people say, "Yeah, yeah, Isha, I got you. I'm gonna tell you blah 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 blah," and
Uh-uh.
you didn't even get it when it was time to get it. And
Listen, every time I got a building, I lost a friend.
I well, get FOMO then. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I had to learn that everybody ain't
Yeah,
gonna be able to go.
yeah,
And sometimes it's get a little lonely at the top. And my new friends is the CEOs and people
that's
with funding and resources because I don't got time for nothing else. Honestly, I'm a full-time mommy and a granny,
yeah.
and I don't have time. So that's what it is. It's especially around here. The higher you go, the more people look at you like, why are you up there? We ain't there.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But Isha, this is probably gonna be an ongoing conversation. But
Absolutely.
I just say thank you again, and
You're
I'm
welcome.
gonna let you enjoy your evening. And if you I'm gonna be on probably for another 30 minutes. If you want to call, come back on. You got the link. Come on for
I
whatever.
do want to say,
Go ahead,
Mrs. TD
Lou.
Lou, thank you
Yeah.
so much. She's been commenting. I'm just now seeing it. So thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You are I'm gonna just tell you this. I'm giving you some flowers before you roll out of here. Isha, you have done it, and I don't know how much, you know. Of course, we all have had help on our
Yeah,
journey or whatever
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
case may be. But I've known that, you know, the odds were against you. And I know there were naysayers against what it was that you're trying to accomplish, but you accomplished it regardless of the fact.
Yeah.
And you every time I look up, it's something new that you're doing. And the reason, in my opinion, for a lot of your success is that you're creative, and that you're forever evolving in the world, that in the climate that we're in. You're forever coming up with new ideas, and you're not stale and stagnant. And that's the key. That's the hustler part of you. Because here's my advice to nonprofits, right? My advice, and I'm not a nonprofit, but this is why I think you will succeed, and one of the reasons why you do succeed is because you do have that for-profit, or you have that business acclimate in you, that knowing that you have to be creative in coming up with ways of doing things. When people just concentrate on being a nonprofit, they're concentrate on asking and begging a lot. You know what I'm saying? They doing what they feel that the funder is going to want them to do, instead of thinking outside of the box and showing the funder these are some new things we can do. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that you are, you know, just a great example of what you got going on.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm proud to been a part of it a little bit.
I need to get you. I need to get you back.
All right, then.
I know
get me
you.
back.
Listen, you got that good quality stuff over there. I'm almost there.
Okay.
Where I can have a little.
Oh, you there already? You messing around with the CEO? But yeah, but yeah, I got you though. But thank you so much, Isha.
You're welcome. You have yourself a good night.
Yes,
and I'll
ma'am.
talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So that right there was Isha Branner, E-Community Outreach. She is outstanding. And I want to give a shout out to, let me see here. I told her that I would do this. Let me see if I can put this on. We got Jermaine Branner popping on right now. I'm gonna pull him. Jermaine, stay right there. Don't go anywhere. I told her that I would do this. I wanted to show this. Yep, Nikita Washington gave me this, and I want to show this. We got Jermaine Branner about to pop on with us in 1 second, but I want to show this flyer because I promised her that I would. Nikita Washington, the Walk in Her Shoes, domestic violence awareness, bringing awareness to domestic violence. Join us for our empowerment gathering as we honor survivors. Remember those that we've lost and stand united against domestic violence. Together, through education, support, and solidarity, we will create change, one shade of purple at a time. Not this Saturday, but Saturday, October 11th, 2025, 2 through 6, 165 Updike, Auburn Hills. The theme is Shade of Purple Tea. Wear purple. Donation $25. Wear purple. Speak out and be heard. So this is for Nikita Washington. Asked me to go ahead and put that out for the people to know about. Right now, we about to bring on. Let's see here. I think Jermaine. Let me see if we got that. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm just not jumping in the car. We was at Betty's Reed balloon send off here at Dogwood, so
Okay.
that's why I'm coming on late, and that's why I'm behind. But
Hey, no problem, man. Better,
what
you know.
what up, though?
Man, what's happening with you, baby? We up here rolling now, man. We done had, you know, state rep Brenda Carter jumped on for a moment, talked a little bit about, you know, her participation with the community of Pontiac, with the organizations around Pontiac, as far as nonprofit organizations. Isha Branner just came on and got off, but gave some pertinent information. And more or less, man, you know, just kind of talking about this nonprofit space, man. And is it, you know, I guess Mosey that I wanted to talk about, man, is it too crowded, brother? I mean, is it too many organizations doing the same thing, and some need to get out the way, and let room be pushed open for some new people that really want to help and can get these fundings and things that they need to make these, you know, to make these changes around the neighborhood. So I would like to, to welcome you and tell me, you tell me what you think. Tell me what on your mind about that. Not only just what I just said, but some things that might be on your mind, brother.
Yeah, well, one thing we need for sure is a collaborative impact. Uh, we need a leader. Hopefully it can be the mayor or whoever, but somebody needs to bring all the nonprofits to the table, and everyone that's in the same group, whether it's youth violence, whether it's hunger, whether it's domestic abuse, everyone need to be in one category, need to be in a group and communicate with each other. As far as being too crowded, I welcome anyone who have the passion and the heart that want to give back to the community to set themselves up properly, whether that's in the form of a nonprofit with a 501c3 or whatever, and just do the right thing. So the more the merrier. However, I do believe that once we as a community focus on things such as our mental health, homelessness, and become homeowners and create more two-parent households and whatever, then a lot of the nonprofits won't even need to exist.
Wow.
So the goal is for us to take care of ourselves and our family, our households, and our own community, so that we don't need as many nonprofits. We don't need as many people saying we need to feed the hungry, or you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
So
get where you. I know
yeah,
you talking solutions. That's what you're talking. That you talking
that-
about.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah, you talking solutions. But our number one, you have a nonprofit, right?
I do.
So could you tell the people about your nonprofit before we go further?
Well, the name of our nonprofit is Perry Street Empowerment. And what we do, basically, we a construction business with a social mission, and we want to train, we want to hire, and we want to empower. Year after year, we get millions of dollars in development, such as the Phoenix Center, the Youth Center, MLK Bridge, or whatever. And prime developers, when they do come to the city, they say, "Hey, we can't really do business with nobody from Pontiac or hire nobody from Pontiac because they don't have the training." So what we're doing is we're connecting with um, all the training providers such as Detroit Training Center, Detroit Builders, Michigan Works, and we getting all the resources when it come to workforce development in the construction field, and we training individuals so that we can be ready to get some of that money. The
Right.
thing is, and no knock, I love all the people that have nonprofits that's trying to do something, but what I see too many bounce houses. I see too many hot dogs. I see too many marches. I see too many things that won't replace the band-aid. We know we need land. We need contracts. We don't need Section 8. We need Section 3. That means that we get some of the money that's used for housing, and we get some of the contracts so that we can do the paint and and the repairs, and we can feed our own self instead of just waiting on a handout. We don't need certificates, and we don't need all the proclamations and awards and the smiles and the pictures. We need contracts. We need land to build our own houses and to grow our own food. We need jobs, so we need to empower our goddamn self. We tired of having events in Pontiac and thinking that we gonna have the music is cool, the bounce houses, the hot dogs is cool, but goddamn, we need some land. We need first right of refusal. It's something called
Right.
first right of refusal, meaning that instead of us selling our lots and our lands to outside, to people from Canada, people from China, or even people in Grand Rapids, the people of Pontiac get the first right to buy the property that's in the land that we live on, in the neighborhoods where we from. If there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be millions of dollars of investments coming in Pontiac, then we need to be the first ones in line, especially the ones that are ready, the ones that can get insurance, the ones that can get bonded, the ones that are ready to move forward. We need to at least have first dibs or mechanisms in place to make sure that we can get some of the contracts, such as local preference, community benefits agreements, enforcement of HUD Section 3, and shit like that.
Damn, Max, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, you a well of knowledge right there. I mean, now let's break it down to let's take it to the layman's terms. The
My bad.
cat.
My bad. Well, I
No, hey,
hopefully,
no,
hopefully,
you good. I mean, you good
I,
because you saying what you is right. What you saying is right. Go ahead, bro.
well, people need to, if they don't understand, hopefully they'll push replay and they'll go back and research the terms that I'm talking about.
Right.
Again, we crying about vouchers, we crying about Section 8, but HUD put something called Section 3 in place to say, hey, you have it's a law that whenever the city or these municipalities are getting HUD funding, that some of that money is supposed to go to the people that actually live in Carriage Circle, that
Yeah.
actually live in the Riverside, that live in these homes to get jobs to pull themselves out that situation so they won't even need Section 8.
Eh,
That's a law.
right. Now I got a comment. So Miss TD Lou said there are people that have or gotten the training, but they're just not getting the right opportunity or the opportunity to show it. So
Well, that's because here's the thing. I don't want federal government contracts in Detroit and Flint and Dearborn Heights, where it's mostly Muslim and KLD, and so it's not really a race thing. I've been welcomed in some of the whitest cities. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah,
however, they enforce their laws. Again, if it's any type of program that receive HUD funding, then by law, organizations are supposed to at least go out in the community and give contracts to low income workers and people that are labeled as low income. It's just that cities like Pontiac don't have mechanisms in place. They don't have an ordinance. They don't have something called a community benefit agreement that says, hey, if anybody bring any type of development or any type of projects over a certain amount of money, we have a registry of small business owners that we recommend that you do business with. We
well,
don't have those pipelines in place. Instead, we get Fox 2 News said, hey, look what Pontiac is doing, and we feel good about it, but we're not getting the contracts. My thing is, we shouldn't be scared of gentrification. If we own the land, if we own the houses, and we have the small businesses and those mechanisms in place, then we all can be millionaires if they want to try some type of gentrification because
right.
they have to go through us. If we own properties and gentrification occurs, then our value go up. So it doesn't matter. We welcome it. It's just that we're not in position. That's the scary part. When you don't own the land, when you don't have the small businesses, and when you don't have the contracts, but you hear billions of dollars is coming through your city, then hell yeah, you should be scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's the recourse more or less? I mean, okay, we know that the right thing is not happening. Far as there's billions of dollars floating through, not opportunities for the people that are in the community. Um, and there's an enforcement mechanism that needs to be put in place. What is that? And is it a lawsuit? What is what? How does that? And what is the? You know what I
Well,
mean? How do you even enforce that? Even though it's we
well,
know it's a law in the books, there's a it should be getting done, but how can you force this?
mhm. Well, unfortunately, it takes for people from the city to go. Sometimes, like myself, I had to go out the city to learn that that was even a law or that was a rule or that I was obligated to certain contracts. And I believe that our mistake is that after we vote, we put people in council, we put people in the mayor position, but we forget that they are people that's just like us. They don't know all the rules, they don't know all the laws, and they don't have all the plans. A lot of these people, they never really went through the proper training as far as like government contracts and laws and stuff like that. So it's up to us to go and find the answer and then say, here's the answer. We did the research. We need you to implement that.
Right.
Instead, when something, come across the table that makes us uncomfortable, we expect for the mayor or the city council members to have all the goddamn answers and then get mad because they don't have the answers. So we need to educate ourselves, especially when it comes to resources. One thing about Pontiac, we got Oakland County, period. We got millions, if not billions, of dollars in resources
Yeah. Yeah.
when it comes to some of the topics and some of the things that the organizations are fighting for: homelessness, mental health, obesity, or whatever. Oakland County, they use Pontiac data and
Mm.
statistics to get millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
through organizations like Michigan Works, OSHA,
Makes sense.
so many programs
Yeah.
that we just not paying attention to the money because we stuck in survival mode. We so we're when you're in survival mode, it's hard to really think about things outside of your living conditions. So we need to take a break, pause, and say, God damn, where is this money coming from? And what is the best way to disperse this money in the community?
Hmm. Let me ask you: is that a reality? I mean, is that is that just a kumbaya thought of like all the organizations coming together and get some type of organization within them all? Because we know that happens in different communities. Organizations work together in a more cohesive way. In the kind of community that Pontiac is, and the organizations that is that just a pipe dream um, for
But
all of for these organizations to get together and make, because of course I think what you said is a great idea, and I think a greater impact could happen if it's
mhm,
some organization with that. I mean, do you think that's just not going to happen though? Because you know, some organizations got their piece of the pie and they like where they are with theirs because they'd be giving up some real estate. You basically doing something like that.
absolutely, and I get what you're saying. Unfortunately, how can I answer that? Unfortunately, it's not in the best interest of certain individuals, executive directors, and people who get high salaries by having nonprofits for other people to get in their space for them to share the wealth. In their mind, they believe that it's a shortage and there's a lack of. So, especially like cities like Pontiac, where the poverty levels are very low,
Mm-hmm.
it is true that you do have some people that will knock you if they feel like you're getting a piece of their pie. However, I think with strong leadership, it's going to take a strong leader to say, skip what y'all talking about. Y'all come to the table and y'all work on on this project, or ain't none of y'all getting nothing.
Right, right,
So
right,
I
right.
think it's going to take that can stand up and put his foot down and say, here's the pot of money. Y'all all come together and work on one project, or it's going to take somebody to kind of force that issue.
Hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I think that's the only way or a situation that can happen. But yeah, man. But I think the most part is going to have to be is going to have to be the want from those organizations more than even the leadership, because how can even the leadership enforce that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
No.
trying to wrap my head around how could, I mean, when you say leadership, who are you saying? You say maybe could be a mayor, could be at a county exec or something like. I mean, how?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that
Whoever
pot.
is controlling the fund. Yeah, yeah. So I know it's a big pot. Sometimes it come from the federal level,
Right,
sometimes it come from the state, sometimes it comes from the county. But I think when we're talking about on a local level,
on the local level.
it takes a strong mayor. Let's just use the ARPA funds for example. We had $37.6 million in ARPA funds, and just taking these funds and just spreading them out evenly. Um, I don't think it's the answer. I think a strong nonprofit, in my opinion, they go off of like data. Let's just look at youth violence. Or let's look at poverty or unemployment, right? We go look at the household medium income. If I'm a nonprofit and I'm saying like, hey, I'm in workforce development, and my job is to make sure that I can train as many Pontiac people and get them as many jobs as possible. I think a strong way to see if that nonprofit is actually effective, an audit need to come down. And I'm talking, an audit can come down on my organization after a few years and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
how many people have you employed? How many people got jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Are you helping to increase the household median income? You get what I'm saying? How many lives have you changed? And I just feel like smaller cities like Pontiac is really based on relationships. It's not really based on the matrix or based on the results or based on, are you really making a difference? I think a lot of the funding is based on who you know, and that what needs to change. It shouldn't be because I'm cool with you. It should be because you done looked into my program.
Let me ask
And
you. Now you made a so right now. So in a lot of these questions or some of these things that I might say might come from a place of me just of ignorance, me not knowing. So you have a nonprofit. How often do you have to get an audit done? Number one, every two
um,
years or what? 5 is every
you
year
know
like you
what?
do taxes? Is what? How's that done?
I guess it all depends. That's kind of a a loaded question.
Okay,
Yearly. When you're doing your taxes, that's kind of like
an
an
audit
audit.
also.
Or it depends on the grant that you get. The specific person that's giving you the grant, organization that's giving you the grant, they have their own rules and guidelines that you have to go through.
Let me ask you
So
this.
they may do their own personal audit based on that amount of money that you got. So
So let me
it just all depends, bro.
let me ask you this. Okay. So organization that already done had their audit done, let's say they done audit, whatever. How does the public get to, how does the public retrieve these results, these findings? How can I pull up so and so or so and so audit?
Hmm.
Because a lot of people don't even know that. You might have got an audit done, but the public doesn't know how to retrieve it. Where do I go? You know,
Uh, you know
because
what?
that's a great question because a lot of people don't know.
You know what? I guess it all depends.
Yeah,
It all depends on how you're measuring that nonprofit. Again,
because
a nonprofit is just like a for-profit, bro. Like
yeah,
the first 3 years of starting a business, the first 3 or 4 years, it's the hardest. It's not that the person failed or the person stole the money. Sometimes the plan just didn't work.
yeah,
I think what we need to look at is some of these organizations that's been around for like a decade, 20 years, 30 years, and we see the amount of funding that they're getting. I'm talking about these bigger nonprofits that's getting millions of dollars.
hmm,
And sometimes that they don't have a community person like yourself or myself that go to the board meetings and check them and ask serious questions and do your own personal audit and say, hey, let me see, do I need to get a FOIA? You get what I'm saying? You can pull a FOIA out and go to the city or go to the county and get certain information that they may not be so willing to give you
got you. So
because
freedom,
they are, so it's all about how you're trying to measure the individual nonprofit. Again, in my opinion,
right? So that's a great piece of information right there. Like people don't know that they can freedom of information. Now people can go and check on whatever nonprofit that they feel. Let's say I want to donate to X, Y, and Z nonprofit that just that's asking or looking for donations. They've been around. You can go in and then do research, not just of the lip service or the topical things that you see about a nonprofit on in the community or wherever. You can go further. You can like Max said, you can request a FOIA
well, I guess, when I'm speaking of FOIA, I'm really speaking of like the city
or the
and the
city. Okay,
county and the
okay.
state level.
But 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 if but if you're a nonprofit and you're getting governmental funds, then you should be able to. If you're getting governmental state funds, you're getting federal dollars, you should be able to because those are our tax dollars at the end of the day. We should
No, for sure. Good
we should
point.
be able to get information about where the how that money is being spent, receipts. We should be able
Yeah.
to see all of that. Okay.
And even if you do see something and you notice that a nonprofit may not, in your opinion, may not be executing their job the right way, it's not for us to expose or
Right.
sometimes you should go and give suggestions because again, a lot of these people just don't have all the answers. They may
Right.
have the heart, they may have a passion and really want to do something, but they may not have strong administration skills. They
Gotcha.
may not have strong, financial budgeting. So if a person is really curious or really want to monitor a nonprofit, make sure that you're willing to help do what you're pointing the fingers at.
Right. Right. And that makes sense. It's not about trying to destroy at the end of the day. It's about trying to, you know, if you got an organization that's really moving the needle, they're doing some type of good, try to help and uh, because at the end of the day, if you are getting federal state dollars, it is your money that you're getting from me. You know what I mean? Like I'm a donor even if I don't want to be. If you getting state and federal funds, so you know what I'm saying. And that's how people really got to look
Absolutely.
at. Yeah, that's how people got to look at nonprofits. A lot of times, if you're getting state and federal dollars, I'm a
Yeah,
donator even if I ain't wrote you a check for personally.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I don't want us to get caught in being like a black Karen and just being the people that's going around trying to be the police to see who's
Right,
wrong.
right,
Like, let's not get caught up in that
right.
unless you're the person that have your own boots to the ground and you're putting in work. But however, and you're working hard to try to grow your nonprofit. But however, it seems like, it may be some favoritism or whatever. Then you may want to, if
See
you
what's
feel like,
happening. Yeah,
yeah, people closing the doors on you, then that's when you can kind of say, oh, okay, why are they closing the doors on me? But however, just to point the finger and say, they ain't doing shit, they ain't doing nothing, da, 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 then,
that's the wrong
make,
approach.
yeah, make sure you're doing something, you're helping the cause.
Right. Well, I like where you coming from, especially like I really like that. Ultimately, what I'm hearing tonight is the main thing, like especially with you, even Isha, even is just that you're trying to empower people at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
that's you're trying to be solution based with the nonprofits that you're ahead of. It's about creating an opportunity for people to become self sufficient, where the problem is not persisting. To create, helping somebody maybe create a way or create wealth or create some stability in their life so they don't need the program anymore. You know what I'm saying? They can become helpers at that point. That's what I feel like I'm hearing tonight.
absolutely, bro. Do not take your training wheels off. It's
Right.
okay to get a boost. It's okay to be on Section 8.
Yeah.
It's okay to start off like that. But it's possible for the person that's on Section 8 to be the one selling houses.
At the end of the day.
You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
there's money and resources. Listen, the government every day is looking for people like us to sell them services and products. Everything from police uniforms, everything from the streets getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
everything from whatever the government is spending money to on products and services. So we just need the education on how to sell our products and our services to the government. It's money for everybody.
We need that education,
Everybody.
but we need that education. And like I say, people like the ins and outs of that because I think but people like you say they gotta take the training wheels off on themselves. They gotta is you got Google and all this shit now. People can go and figure and find out. You got more information than others. You know more. But the first thing first, people, if you interested in something, you gotta go ahead and research it yourself. Then you can approach a
Man,
person
for
like
sure.
Max. You can approach a person like Max and like, hey, man, I did my research X, Y, and Z. That way he don't feel like he wasting his time talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Max, I did my
No, for sure,
research.
bro. They got Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Listen, man. If anybody listening, man, and so listen, all you got to do is get you an LLC, right? Once you go to LLC, you go to sam.gov, you get you a cage number, you go through that sam.gov process. Now they got sites like bid.net. The city of Pontiac got a site called OpenGov. Once you get on BidNet and OpenGov and the SamGov registry, they're going to be sending contracts and RFPs and opportunities for you to sell your products and your services to the federal government every day.
Mm,
Every day. It's so much money out here, man. We don't got a bag for shit.
yeah.
But however, you're right, it do take education and it take for us to educate. So I'm in the process of trying to educate our leaders that may not know about Section 3, that may not know about community benefit. I could be on the internet saying, oh, y'all ain't doing nothing. But
Yeah.
before I do that, I'm taking the time to properly educate and say, hey, look, when I was in Dearborn, they had to hire me because I was a HUD Section 3 concerned businesses and
Mm-hmm.
because they're following the law, right? So once I done went to city council and spoke about it. I just had a private meeting with the mayor. I
Mm-hmm.
done had a private meeting with the Oakland County. I done went up to Washington D.C. and had a meeting with Frank Cassidy, the guy who oversee all of HUD. So I'm chasing the information down so I can bring it back to little old Pontiac and say, here's the mechanisms that we need to set so that our contractors and our small business owners can eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey man, all I say is thanks for your contribution, and thanks for what it is what you're doing, because you're a role model. You one of the strong brothers. There's plenty of them, but you are one of the ones that are really visible. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing a lot of things and around. You know what I mean? Pontiac in the metro area. Period. You're not just stuck in one spot. You got to move around, man. Like you said, you get resources from the outside. You can bring them in, and that's the true mark of a you just resourceful, a person like that, man. So, man, I thank you for what it is that you bring to the table, man. And it ain't about, like you said, exposing like, and this person ain't doing this and that person doing that. But we do got to hold people feet to the fire, because there is funding that is available, and sometimes people are going after the same pot, and the people that's usually out there longer get that money, but the people that actually is going to make the difference actually need that money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I get a little frustrated about, because I know that there's new organizations that's popping up, or they may have been out there for a little while. They're just not getting the funding, and they're the ones that's going to really move the needle. But they're not getting the money because there's a more established, quote unquote, or a more tenured organization out there. You know what I mean? So that's that's
No, I
that's
get
that's
listen
that's where I'm
with my
a little
nonprofit.
frustrated with it. You know what I mean? And I don't even got a nonprofit. It's just more or less I see things. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's like this, bro. If it's anybody that's waiting for a grant or that's waiting for a funding to start their nonprofit movement, then they're not passionate about it and they're in the way.
Mm,
If you haven't started some type of momentum in doing what you say that you're going to do because you claim that you can't move because you didn't get any money, then I call that bullshit.
yeah.
I call that bullshit. If you want to feed the homeless, it shouldn't be that you have to go get a grant to feed the homeless. Go make you some oatmeal, go make you some food, use your bridge card and start doing it then.
Yeah. Start feeding them. Yeah.
If you want to be a mentor, you should, you go attract the money. That's the thing that people don't want to, like with me, myself, I pull the money out my pocket and I put that work in because I know that I'm going to be discovered. With our
Right.
Perry Street Empowerment, we didn't start off with no grant. You get what I'm saying? We
Right.
called our sons, our nephews, the people that we know in the hood in our community and said, man, I'm coming to pick your son up, and I'm about to take him out here. Me, Dak, DeMar, we about to pick your son up. We about to take him out here
Teach them how to
to the
do something.
robotic spot. We
Yeah.
about to come over here and take him to, we started off, boots to the ground.
Right.
And then once people start seeing you putting in that work, the money is going to come.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right about that, bro. Yeah. You can't wait. You can't wait just because you got to invest in yourself first, regardless if it's for profit or nonprofit. You have to invest in what your interest in, what your passion is, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? You have to put your own into it first. That's how you really show if you want something or not. So you absolutely right about that. Max, man, I thank you, man, for coming on, man. I'm about to probably shut it down in a couple of minutes, man. And like I was
Good
telling
looking,
Isha,
bro.
yeah, no doubt. Like I was telling Isha, man, this is gonna be an ongoing little conversation, man. Just because I've seen, I'm be honest with you, man. I just think people are scared to talk about it. I'm honestly,
Mhm.
I think people are scared to talk about this topic because they afraid that it might step on people's shoes and feet that they know. But it ain't. It's not about that. It's not about that. Lord knows it's not about that. It's about how can we better help our nonprofits and also help the ones that actually want to move the needle forward and get some things done, helping them get it done. You know what I mean? Because sometimes sometimes the ones that really want to help are getting blocked. And that's just
True.
the fact of the matter. But
I went through it. I went through it. I
yeah,
understand. I'm not saying that it's not real.
yeah,
It's real. You got people who've been in a certain position for decades and years. And once they see you in their field, they start hating on you because you a threat. You got the passion and you really want to solve the problem.
yeah, yeah. And we can't be discouraging people that's younger, because that's what they're going to encounter. That's what they are encountering, and at the end of the day, like you said, everything is going to need some funding, bro. Like, we can do it out of love all we want, but it's going to need some funding. I think we just lost Max, but yeah, I'd like to thank him for popping on at the end of the day, man. This was a good topic, a good conversation. This is one of many that we're going to have continuously talking about over the time to come. So anybody that want to give a call last minute, 248-905-1128, 248-905-1128. And this is all about, basically, like, at the end of the day, we have a community. And there's a lot of communities, not just Pontiac. You got all these communities in Southeast Michigan and everywhere. But a lot of people feel like that the nonprofit space a lot of times can be a racket, more or less. It's a place to go ahead and start something and try to get some money, find a way to play with the money and do a little bit here and there and make people feel like they're getting help when they really not. And that's how I'm not speaking for myself, but that's how most people really feel about nonprofits. That's how most people really feel about nonprofits. And I've worked with some real good nonprofits, and I'm on the board of one of a nonprofit around here in the city of Pontiac, and I believe that is going to be doing great things and with prevention and helping people along their way. But sometimes you have some people that are in the way. That this organization might be coming along and catching up steam, and then you get this organization, quote unquote, hating on this next organization that's moving or pushing up steam. And it's not about hating, or it's not about trying to curtail what this person's progress is, or stop them from doing what they doing, or saying. It's not about that. It's about coming together. Don't you know that you're stronger if you got one good, great leader here, one good, great leader here that's coming up and coming and moving the needle? Y'all put this stuff together and you can go further. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I don't understand about this, because you're supposed to be in the business of helping people ultimately, right? You're supposed to be helping people with prevention, drug use, homelessness, domestic violence, and I'm a lot of what Max said. You know what I'm saying is correct. If it could just be a come togetherness about it, especially in a smaller community like Pontiac, because everybody's really so on top of each other. You know what I mean? But so for the ones that are really moving and being creative, I really applaud. I really like the building aspect. Also, what I like about the two people that I spoke to tonight was I like the entrepreneurial part of it, of what they got going on. They both have their own entrepreneurial spirit as far as their own businesses. So they have a for-profit and they have a non-profit. But the for-profit, you know what I'm saying? What I think really differentiates a person that's a for-profit situation is that you gotta learn to be creative. And I think when you just probably dealing in the nonprofit realm, you can get comfortable doing just enough to satisfy that funder, to satisfy what that funder wants. You're not really trying to push the needle forward. Let me do what I know I gotta do to get this funded. You're not trying to do no more sometimes or no less. You know what I mean? I know I can get this batch of funding, but see, what's going to happen is you're going to get played out, I think. You know what I'm saying? Because the CEOs of these big places that fund places, the CEOs are going to continue to get younger. When you look at a person like, let's take, for instance, you take a person like United Wholesale Mortgage, Matt Ishbia. He's a younger man, per se. And I believe how and why Isha probably gets, love from them is because he's a younger generational guy. And if you walk through United Wholesale, you look at how innovative and inspiring it is in that building all over. I've been through basically the whole building on a tour not too long ago. And you see how his mind and his vision is. So you have to, in order to work with him and get some type of funding or some type of assistance, I think you're going to have to be a visionary. And I think these CEOs and these people are going to continue to be younger, and or they're going to continue to be more innovative, because their business has to be in everything is going to have to be innovative to compete. And I believe that's what it is also with nonprofit in a lot of ways. No matter what that nonprofit is offering, I believe you're going to have to be, you can get stagnant. And that's with anything, you know what I mean? Even with what I do, I have to find new ways to be effective. You know, okay, this AI thing is coming up. I got to learn how to effectively put that in my workflow. People going to want something I got to know that. Like 5-6 years ago, when COVID, or when 4-5 years ago, COVID came, I was innovative in knowing live streaming. And when when we needed live streaming, boom, I was there because I was already thinking ahead. So you got to think as a nonprofit how these new strategic ways that you can only not just get funding, but new strategic ways that you can help people, new strategic ways that you can come together and be more effective. Because I think the public sentiment won't be as negative as it is in a lot of ways, because I'm just talking from the guy on the street, the guy in the neighborhood or in the corner. They think of a nonprofit. A lot of times they think of a racket. They think, oh, yo, so-and-so get money, boom, boom, boom. They take the kids or donate this and this and this and that, bam, boom, bam. They pocket the rest of the money and live their little life. That's how people mainly look at nonprofits. And I know that not to be true with a lot of these nonprofits, that it's not like that. They actually doing something to move, but you have to be creative with the times that we're in now. You know, it ain't the same way. You can't just continue to do things the same way over and over. You're not going to get no results. And also, or you're going to get the same results, which is violence is going up, crime, education. Things are, you know, in the neighborhood or in the community that you serve, things are not really budging or moving. So my advice would be to nonprofits, if you know you got another nonprofit that's coming up and you know you see good potential, even if you were tenured nonprofit, reach out to that new nonprofit. Oh, I think this is, and point them and help them get the funding, come to the table with you and bring those two coalitions or programs together, you know, and possibly, like I'm saying, I'm ignorant to the fact of a lot of the way things go on the business end, but I'm just speaking from, you know, from what the part that I do know. I know things take money to happen. You know what I'm saying? You need funding, but money ain't the solving 100% issue. But when it's, you know, when people fighting for that same funding in occasion, they tend to cannibalize the actual people that really want to help or make help happen or move the needle. They cannibalize this smaller group to get that $10,000, where that one nonprofit, that $10,000 could have probably carried them for 6 months. The $10,000 to you ain't nothing. It's just you want to be greedy instead of I'm not going to go for that $10,000. This $10,000 is going to help this nonprofit more. Let me advocate for this. Let me vouch for this nonprofit, you know, since I'm more tenured and can help them get this $10,000, because this might help them get through the real hump that they need to get past to continue to going. And it's just like in regular business, quote unquote. You need a bump. A quick little $5,000 might not be nothing to a big company or a videographer company that's been around for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But one that's just starting, $5,000 might be able to pay their rent up for 2 or 3 months, and they able to continue to keep going for 2 or 3 months and get their wind or get their cycle going. And I know if it happens because for real nonprofit, it is a profit. There is a profit. It's just the wording, you know, but it's not about, in my opinion, 100% money. It's about who you helping. And if the game is helping people, then help them. Because a lot of times A lot of people don't see that it's help being that there's no resolve. There's no resolve to the, like, okay, you're getting this bread, you're getting this money, but is the problem really being solved? You know what I'm saying? So that's why people have the bad taste in their mouth, and then they see the division. They see the division. So that's what it's about. We're gonna have a continued conversation about this. I know it's a hard topic. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. And the only reason I'm able to talk about it is because I don't really, I care enough to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I know some people don't want to talk about things like this because they know people. And I don't care. And the reason I can talk about this is because there's nobody really doing anything for me. Any and everything that I've really ever done is because, or being able to do in the space that I'm doing, not saying that I haven't got any help, but because I've worked hard. Nobody's ever given me anything. And a lot of times why people don't want to speak on situations is because they're getting handouts or they're getting, rubbed back. That don't dictate what I do. What dictates what I do is I feel like it's the right thing or it's a wrong thing. And if I'm wrong, I can be corrected. But that's what makes my voice powerful, is because I don't care. I don't have to have a friend in high places because I know the friend in the most high place. You know what I mean? And I can talk truth to power. I can have these type of conversations, and I can know what I'm talking about or be corrected about what I'm talking about. And I'm still going to succeed, and I'm still going to be able to take care of my life and be able to take care of my family because I'm not afraid of these things. But we need to have these conversations and in our communities, not just Pontiac, but all around. But Pontiac officially, because that's where I'm from and that's what I really care about. That's what I really, the majority of all my work is concentrated in Pontiac. I've worked in different communities and different settings and cities and people, but this is where I do all of my work, really. And that's why it means a lot to me about what's going on. And especially with the bread, like, yeah, just do the right thing. If you getting a lot of money and you got people like, thanks for State Rep Brenda Carter that's have helped organizations get funding and get money. If you get help, if you blessed to get opportunities where you have state representative or representation helping you get funding, or you're getting funding from these organizations or Goodwills or whomever funds your organization. If you're blessed to do the right thing with it, spend the money, use the money for what the money is supposed to be used for. Use the money for what the money's supposed to be used for. Or you just be a for-profit business. If that's the case, and if you want to live a certain way, just get a for-profit business and just have a regular business and employ people and make a difference that way. You become a lender. You become a funder. That way, then ain't nobody got no questions. You know what I'm saying? But, find a way, to do things the opposite way. But I tend to like what Isha Branner said. You don't want, in her opinion, what she said, you don't want to be a lifelong, I like that because it gives, I like what she said when she said that. So anybody that needs to go back and watch, please do. Again, man, I want to, to the young man that passed earlier, it's a lot of people that's passed, and I want to talk, we're going to talk about this young man that had passed away. It's real unfortunate what happened with Charlie Kirk today, did at 31, regardless on how you felt about his outlook, his political views, nobody, should be shot because of that, just because of the political outviews, the way they, whatever they are, super right or super left or straight down the middle, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Regardless how the man thought, he didn't deserve for that to happen to him. And it's unfortunate because you got kids that have no father now, and you have a woman that doesn't have her husband. and to get shot like that in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people at that college, and then on top of that, on TV or on social media. I can't even bring myself to even look at the actual video. I think my daughter was gonna pull it off. I'm like, yo, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I know what his stand was as far as his political outlook. I have listened to him before. I can't say that I was a fan or listened to him, and I listened to him every day. But I knew who he was, and it's unfortunate. So, people, I have seen the ignorance of people, congratulating and being happy that the man, and it's unfortunate. So tomorrow I might come on tomorrow morning. I'm not for certain or not for sure, but I do want to talk about the National Guard coming to Chicago. And how, people talking about they're going to fight the National Guard. I really hope you don't try. I really hope you don't try. Even the National Guard is warning people, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to end good. I don't think people really need to understand what they're doing, So this is it's a real time. All I can say to people is this, watch where your surroundings are. Watch where you're going. Be prayerful. Always thank God for your life. Thank God for what you got going on. Be humble to a point. I mean, not be too humble where you just bowing down to people. Be humble, I believe, in God's eyes. But, take a strong stance on who you are and what you believe in, because that's who you are, and believe that man really can't give you shit. Man can't give you nothing. Everything that you garner or get is from above. Nobody can block what you got going or stop from what you're going to get. You know what I mean? The only one that can really stop you is you. Don't be disrespectful and rude and a terrible person. And when I mean a terrible person, just because you talk nice and just because I done seen this plenty of times, it's a lot of people that could talk nice, dress nice, and enunciate their words and be perfect exterior, but they the nastiest, disgusting people ever created. They just know how to act good. I used to tell my mama this all the time. It's like people know how to act good, but they really not good. They just know how to act good. And I've encountered and seen so many people around here that act good, but they really not good people. You know what I'm saying? So you be strong and steadfast in who you are. You might not enunciate your words the best. You might not have the best clothes. You might not have the best cars, and you might not have the greatest and the best connections right now, or you might not be that person on that level that's rubbing elbows with these super important people, so-called important people. But you continue to be true to who you are, and you're going to get in those rooms and you're going to get around these situations where you're going to have opportunity to show people who you are and what you can do. It has happened, and, things like that have happened to me. So, at the end of the day, just be mindful where you're going, who you're around, who you're talking to, what you're doing, and where you're going. Be mindful for that. Associate yourself with people that you feel you have a like mind with. It's okay to have opposing views. We're not enemies because I look at things this way and you look at things that way. We're not enemies because of that. But be mindful, who you're talking to and sharing your opinions with. You know what I mean? So with that being said, y'all, I will probably be coming tomorrow morning. I got a couple things that I have to do tomorrow. And I will be coming back, but unfortunately, like I say, man, it really turned me down that I didn't know who this guy was, but it really turned me down because it's the way it happened. And I'm turned down anytime I see not just him, anything, violence that's happening to people unwarranted, not just him, people in the neighborhood, people abroad, people anywhere. I'm sensitive to people's pain, you know what I mean? And I don't like to see people hurt really unsolicited, when it's unsolicited. If somebody's not trying to take your life or hurt you immediately or your family, there's really no reason to do that type of thing. There's no reason at all. Unless somebody's really trying to hurt you, there's no reason to try to take someone's life unless they're immediate danger against you. So something like this is crazy. It's messed up. I hate to see that. And then another reason that I hate to see that is because no one should die based on their opinion. No, regardless what. You know what I mean? Regardless of how he thinks, there's no reason, for that at all. You know what I mean? No reason for that at all. Because, so this man died being a podcaster, having, garnering a great following, became very influential, had millions of people listening to the things that he said and agreed with him. And somebody felt that was too much. Regardless if he was too left, too right, or too down the middle, don't make a difference. You know what I mean? Somebody felt he had too much influence, and they wanted, and that's usually what happens to people, even in your own area. If they feel like you got too much influence, they tend not to like you. They tend not to, what this person think they doing. They see you up and coming. They want you out the picture. They want to control you. So be wary or be very watchful. Any and everybody that's doing something right now. I don't care if you're starting a business, you're doing this or you're doing that. As you begin to incrementally move up, you got people hating on you. You got people talking about you. You got people plotting or trying to stop this and stop that for you to actually become successful. Just always remember that. You know what I mean? And so protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect your heart, your mind, and you got family and you got things you want to get back to. Protect your body. Protect yourself so you can get back to the people that love you, and because you got people to take care of. So watch, just be mindful and watchful, because people so out to lunch nowadays, they do something to you because they're jealous of you. And it's been happening more. I mean, that's been happening forever, but it just seems like these things is just tapping up, ramping up, and it's just getting wilder. So just be very careful. Just be very careful as you move forward in these days, But unfortunately, things like that happen, and that's just where we are. That's where we are. So tomorrow morning we probably going to get up and talk about what's going on in Iraq. I'm about to say Iraq, Chirac. And was and maybe some good things that's coming up in the city of Pontiac. We always want to keep it on a positive note about that. What's going on in the city of Pontiac? We got the Pontiac the Arts Crawl coming up this weekend downtown. I will be there. I will be down there in the Pontiac Arts Crawl. It's going to be a great time. Arts I don't want to say director, Robin C., which she's part of the art department in the city of Pontiac. I don't want to mess up her title. Very important person down there, though. But she's, part of this Pontiac Arts Crawl, putting that together. And the Pontiac Arts Commission, 12 noon to 10 p.m. So it's going to be a lot of art. There's going to be a lot of things for families and people to do when they get down there. And I will be down there enjoying the festivities, but also, getting some work done, So with that being said, you guys keep God first, family second, and you third. And in that order, you should never be made last, because the last is made first. Y'all enjoy your night. Be safe, and God bless. One love. Peace.